How's it going, bro? So diving into chapter 49 of The Way of the Superior Man. It is titled, Insist on Practice and Growth. Now, the title of this chapter is, again, a bit misleading. It focuses largely on the relationship aspects of your self-development journey. Now, you as a man on self-development, you probably already have at least some direction of where you want to guide your relationship and where you want to take your woman and generally how you want the relationship to turn out. And that's great. I would argue that most men don't have any direction in their relationships. So as a starting point, you are in the top 10 to 20% of men. But I want you to take it a step further. You want continuous growth, don't you? So I think the next step is your current direction is probably focusing largely on your own interests. And that's fine. I don't think that's really too big a problem. But I do want you to spend some time now thinking about how you can improve the relationship from her perspective as well. You see, if you are dating a feminine woman, she's just blindly, or more or less blindly, following your direction. So now you obviously want to give her the best direction. So put yourself in her shoes and think about what she would want out of the relationship. Now, to give you an example, something that I realized about 2 or 3 months ago, I had this subconscious concern about my women socializing. And it sounds a bit weird, but it probably came from my past of having an anxious attachment style and worrying that she was with the wrong crowd, and probably even at a deeper level, worrying that she was talking to another guy or something along those lines. But if you think about it, women more than men actually need this social interaction. David Dieter actually mentions this somewhere in his book. They like the social interaction, and she needs feminine company in order to almost recharge her feminine energy. So of course, you and her spending time together, that's going to almost get the polarity right. But that isn't enough to fill up feminine energy. Just like you spending time with your woman isn't enough to fill your masculine energy. If anything, sometimes it might take away from it. You need to spend some time working out. You need to spend some time working on your business. She needs to spend some time socializing with feminine women. So encourage that on her. In some cases, you may even suggest some feminine women that you know that almost befriend them, get them to interact with each other. Oftentimes they'll click. So that's just a small example of now taking things a step higher than what you probably currently are. But you can do this in many ways as well. So something that's happened between my woman and I recently. Religion wasn't always a big factor in our relationship, but it has become one recently. And actually that was through the suggestion of my woman, it wasn't my own. And in this space, let's leave it at that. There's this thing of the masculine way or your way or the highway. And I do think there's flaws in that idea. Whilst yes, I do 100% agree that you as the man needs to be leading the relationship. Even my woman, who is now diving into religion more deeply, agrees that religion even says the man should be leading the relationship. That doesn't mean you shouldn't be taking the input of your woman. How you do this effectively is you consider her comments, her input, compare it to your own ideas of the world, your own thinking on the matter. And if you see some merit in her thinking, incorporate it. Where a lot of men get it wrong is they blindly follow the input of her, and that does screw up the polarity of the relationship. And what I don't like about that even more so is, say you're now taking a suggestion that something goes a little wrong down the road, so you don't like the outcome of her suggestion, whatever the case is, then you're actually going to be upset with her. You might not say it outwardly, but internally you can be upset with her. And that's going to make you a bit moody around her for a few days and generally just screw up the relationship a bit. So instead, if you almost make the decision yourself after considering her inputs, then it becomes your own decision, if that makes sense. And then if something goes wrong down the road, then it's okay, that was ultimately my decision. I made the mistake. I can now learn from it. But at least then you look at yourself. You not look at your women. So that's like the summary of this chapter. But with that said, I'll see you in the next one, bro. To become a better man.